Babe. Today is painting day. So I'm gonna come in our trailer here and paint all of the walls. They have the natural, basically what all RVs have, wallpaper. They must manufacture it just for RVs. They're like, how can we make this the ugliest wallpaper in the world? And then they do that. But we are gonna paint it white today just to brighten it up, because when we're gonna be living in here full time, we want it to feel like home. We wanna open up the space as much as we can. So I'm gonna paint it white, but I have to do some things to prep it first. So I'm gonna walk you through that. The first thing we need to do is remove all of the window hangings. So I'm gonna do that. Let's go. So I'm just getting in here with a drill. Lefty loosey, just as a reminder to you. Now, I don't plan on putting these up when I'm done with them, but I'm still gonna keep all the screws in case I change my mind. And you don't need a drill to do this. You could just use a screwdriver. That would work too. It just would take longer. Let's see. What y'all think? Okay. These are connected onto here by something else, and I just have to figure out what. Thought that was going to be easier than it is. Cool, cool. Now that I have this removed, I am just going to show you what it looks like up close. So there was a screw right here, and then obviously on the other side as well, right over here. And then the blinds were attached to it. So the first thing I had to do, see if I can get in here and show you, was remove the blinds from up in here. So now that opens this up for me to just go in and undo the screws that are attaching this to the wall. And then this should be off. Easy enough. See how that came off? And that's how you do it. So now I'm gonna remove the rest of them and move to the next step. So I have removed all of the window treatments. One thing I did not think about until right now, holes. There's gonna be holes in the wall. So I've gotta do something about that. They're like tons of them. I'm gonna just spackle, I think. I just found what I had. I think this might be for drywall. I don't know. I wish I had wood glue. I probably would do that instead if I had it. Wood filler. That's what I'm trying to say, wood filler. I don't have that, and I don't want to derail my project, so I'm just going to use this and then get started on the areas that aren't going to require that. So I'm just going to spackle these all over. I've already sanded them down. I just used, I don't know where my sandpaper went. It's sandpaper. You know what it looks like? It's sandpaper. If you don't know, Google it. So I sanded all of the holes, and then now I'm going to spackle them, wait for them to dry, sand them again, then clean them, then prep, then paint. Whew. Got a lot to do. This is going to take a while, but I think it's going to be worth it. Waiting for it to dry. I'm gonna go eat some lunch, and when I come back, I'm gonna sand, clean, tape, and paint. And then we'll be done. Just those things, and then I'll be done. Right. After we remove all the window hangings, what we need to do is prep. I'm gonna hold this up here. There we go. This is Crud Clutter. This is the No Rinse Pre-Paint Cleaner. This is a TSP substitute. I just purchased this on Amazon. I'm sure you can purchase it at Home Depot, all of that sort of thing. But this is basically going to strip any gloss or grime off the walls. Being that this is not flat drywall and I'm painting over wallpaper, I'm going to want to be able to prep this. So I'm going to just basically follow the instructions on here. It says I don't need to rinse it, so I'm just going to put it on a sponge and wipe it down little by little. They say it takes 10 minutes to clean, or to dry, I mean. So I'm going to allow for that. I'm probably just going to do all the walls first, then go back over with the paint. Anytime you're using a chemical or anything like that, or a cleaner, you want to give yourself as much ventilation as possible. So I'm just going to open up all the windows in here, no big deal. All right, so now let's clean the walls. All right, so here I am with my Crud Clutter, and I am going to now just clean my walls. Turn it obviously on so it's not locked. Not on, but I mean like twist the nozzle so stuff can come out. And then I just have a sponge, and you want to spray it down. It says to get it pretty wet. A reminder, I have all my windows open in here now. And then spray it right on. So I'm just going to do a little test area. And do it in, I don't know, what do you think? A circular motion here? We'll give that a try. Turning often to avoid smears. Not exactly sure what that means. And then this should be done, should be dry in the next 10 minutes. And then when it's dry, it's ready to paint. And then that's all there is to it. And then we'll move on to our next step, which is taping and prepping the area so I don't spill. And then we can paint. Then we're there. Okay, now that the walls are all clean, I'm going to go through and I am going to tape and get my mat ready. This is actually just our craft mat, but for such a small space, I'm going to use it as a tarp. And what I like about this craft mat is it's glossy on one side. It's not going to seep through like sheeting wood or anything like that. Amateur painter that I used to be, I used to just use sheets and the paint would go right through it and ruin your floors. So I now just use my craft thing. And it's going to be good because it doesn't take up that much space. I'm just going to move it as I move around the trailer rather than tarping the whole trailer at once. So that's the next step, so let's get prepped. I have cleaned all the walls. Now it's time to tape. And then I'm going to cut in and paint. So we are so close. And finally, we are going to get to the actual painting. So I just have Benjamin Moore's Simply White. I'm not going to prime it because I'm using a paint and primer. For the walls, I think this is fine. When I go doing my cabinets, I will be priming those. Come back for another video on that. But the reason I'm just doing the walls now is because I want to see what the white looks like against the natural wood. Because if I like that, I may not even paint the cabinets. So we'll see how that looks, see if it brightens it up enough. But now we're gonna get to painting. We are gonna get this all done and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Okay, so I am into my first coat. I'm cutting in and that could have been bad. Filling in some places. I'm just gonna keep chucking along here. This is gonna be a really, really long process. I do wanna tell you some issues I'm running into. One of the issues is that there is like a rubber seal along a lot of the surfaces. And so when I paint over that, it doesn't want to adhere to it. So it's taking me a couple coats to be able to get on there. I might go back over it with a spray primer and then paint over it again. I have taken down some of the blue tape because it allows me to get a little bit closer and a more precise touch right there up close. So that's what I'm working on right now. I'm going to finish this first coat. I don't think I'll get to a second coat today. This first coat is going to take me a long time. So I'm just going to keep at it, and I'll give you a progress update when I am done with the first coat. Coat here in the main room, like the kitchen, the entryway, the dining room. I did not do it in the bunks or the bedroom or the bathroom yet. So those still need to be done. But I did get this part done. The process ended up going pretty similar to what I expected. It just took a really long time. I'm used to painting rooms that are big and open. There aren't really a ton of nooks and crannies. Given the layout and the fact that this is an RV, there are so many nooks and crannies, like exclusively nooks and crannies. So there were a lot of things I had to paint around, and therefore a lot of things I had to clean up as I go. I think it's looking great. Already the place feels so much lighter. As I'm doing this, I am deciding for sure that I am going to want to paint the cabinets, which is going to be a really big project. And so I'm not thrilled about painting them, but I think it's going to be the right thing to do. So I'm keeping that in mind as I go. I will get back to you tomorrow when I do the final coat, and I will show you what it looks like. I'll give you some before and afters. So keep watching and you'll see those just in the next few minutes here. All right, back in the camper today. I am going to spend about an hour in here before I have to leave for memorial service, but I am going to pull out the roller. I'm going to do as much of the second coat as possible and keep this momentum going here from yesterday. So here we go. Coat is officially dried. This bad boy took me 4 coats. The reason being is that I painted over wallpaper and it was textured. So it took a long time. It took me several days. If you had a more focused life, you could probably do it sooner. I have 2 small children who got sick this week. I had my brother's wedding, and I run a business from my home. So I had a lot of things going against me, but I was able to do it this week in my fringe hours. So take that as it is and run with it. You'll probably be able to do it sooner, but that's not the way my life works. So it was overall a great project. I started off using an eggshell finish and finished off with satin. What I'm going to say to you is that I recommend the satin because it looks a lot better than that eggshell finish did in this sort of space. After having these walls painted, I feel like I have a beautiful blank slate to continue to do more things to. I am going to go and paint the cabinets. I do not know when. I'm not going to make a promise as to when that's going to happen because it is going to be a really big project, and as I'm looking at my calendar through the end of the year, we are either camping or I'm working on auctions. So it's going to be really hard for me to find time to do that, but we're going to get it done. It's going to look amazing, and I'm excited to show you that process as we do it. Our next step here, I guess, the next thing I'm going to do in here is find curtains because I took down all those window treatments, and I just don't like the way they look, but I do need to find curtains because we're going camping in 2 weeks. And I want to be able to not have everyone see inside our rig. Right? That's pretty fair. I'm not crazy, right? Yeah. So that is that. I am very pleased with how this turned out. And what I want to know from you is what else you'd like to see from us as far as tutorials go. If this was helpful, please like, please comment. I would love to hear what you do on your rigs and connect with us because we'd love to meet you. We're on Instagram at raising.brave. I'll link that below. and I guess you want to see some afters. So here we are. Again, thank you for watching Raising Brave. We will see you next week.
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Mom, can you see me? Thank you for watching Brave. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our channel.